All right, hello and welcome back to yet another video of Hank Hacks Hackers. It's your boy Hank Hackerson. We're looking at the Diamond model today, which is part of the SOC Level 1 pathway on tryhackme. If you don't have access to tryhackme, go ahead and get yourself a membership. There's a free membership and a paid membership. The paid membership is super affordable, and then there's also a discount link in the description below that'll give you a credit towards your membership. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've already gone through Pyramid of Pain, Cyber Kill Chain, Unified Kill Chain, and today we're going to be going through the Diamond model. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that we drop something. And yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. The introduction of the Diamond model. It's the Diamond model of intrusion analysis was developed by CySec professionals Sergio Caltagirón and Andrew Pendergast and Christopher Betts in 2013. As described by the creators, the Diamond model is composed of 4 core features: the adversary, the infrastructure, capability, and the victim, and establishes fundamental atomic element of any intrusion activity. So atomic element, I'm guessing we're going to be going into a lot of specifics from what it sounds like. You might have also noticed 2 additional components or axes of the Diamond model: the social and political and technology. So social and political and technology are 2 different axes, and we'll go a little bit more detail. Why is it called the Diamond model? The 4 core features are edge connected, representing their underlying relationships, and arranged the shape of a diamond. It carries essential concepts of intrusion analysis, adversary operations, while allowing the flexibility to expand and encompass new ideas and concepts. The model provides various opportunities to integrate intelligence in real time for network defense, automation, correlation across events, classifying events with confidence into adversary campaigns, and forecasting adversary operations while planning and gaming mitigation strategies. So why should you care? Because it can help you identify elements of an intrusion. So let's jump into it. And the first piece is going to be the adversary. So the adversary is also known as the attacker, the enemy, the cyber threat actor, the hacker, etc. And it's the person who stands behind the cyber attack. So they're the ones responsible for it. According to the creators of the Diamond model, an adversary is an actor or organization responsible for utilizing a compatibility against the victim to achieve their intent. Their knowledge can generally be mysterious, and this core feature is likely to be empty for most events because you don't know who is hacking you, who's attacking you, at least at the time of the discovery. And then when you go through the investigation, so on and so forth, ideally you should be able to figure out who this person was, right, or the organization. So it's essential to know the distinction between adversary operator and adversary customer, because it will help you understand intent, attribution, adaptability, and persistence by helping to frame the relationship between an adversary and the victim pair. It's difficult to identify an adversary during the first stages of an attack. Utilizing data collected from an incident or breach signatures or other relevant information can help you determine who the adversary might be. The adversary operator is the hacker or persons conducting the intrusion activity. Adversary customer is the entity that stands to benefit from the activity. So this person hired this person to do the activity. And it could be the same person, or it may be a completely separate group. As an example, an adversary customer could control different operators simultaneously. So if you take down one operator, it doesn't necessarily mean the hack has stopped or the attack has stopped. Each operator might have its capability and its infrastructure. So what is the term for a person or group that has the intention to perform malicious actions against cyber resources? So we're just going to say adversary operator. And what is the name of the person that will receive benefits, which would be the customer? Okay, easy enough. Moving on to the victim. So the victim is a target of the adversary, and it could be an organization, person, an email address, IP address, domain, could be a lot of things. It's essential to understand the difference between the victim persona and the victim assets because they are different. And a victim could be an opportunity for the attackers to get a foothold on the organization they're trying to attack. There's always a victim in every cyber attack. For example, spear phishing email, well-crafted email targeting, yada yada. You should already know this by now. A spear phishing email was sent to the company and someone clicked on the link. So the someone was the person who clicked the link, and they're the victim of the SARC in the selected target of interest for an adversary. But then the company as a whole was probably like the bigger victim, right? So you have the micro victim, which is the person that clicked on the email, and then the big victim would be the company. Victim personae are the people and organizations being targeted and whose assets are being attacked and exploited. These can be organization names, people's names, industries, job roles, interests, and the assets are the attack surface and include sets of systems, networks, email addresses, hosts, IP addresses, social networking accounts, and pretty much anything that could be attacked that belongs to the persona or the victim themselves, and they will direct their capabilities. So the attacker is going to be focusing on the assets to get access to the persona or the overall victim, right? So what is the term that applies to the diamond model for organizations or people that are being targeted? And that's going to be the personae. I don't know how to pronounce that, honestly. But moving on. So capability is also known as the skill, tools, and techniques used by the adversary in the event. Capability highlights the adversary's tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPs. We've discussed this before. The capability can include all techniques used to attack the victim, from less sophisticated methods such as manual password guessing to the most sophisticated techniques such as developing malware or a malicious tool. Capability capacity is all of the vulnerabilities and exposures that the individual can use. So their maximum capacity, right? What is the maximum capacity of their capability? An adversary arsenal is a set of capabilities that belong to the adversary, and the combined capacities of an adversary's capabilities make it the adversary's arsenal. Okay. An adversary must have the required capabilities. The capabilities can be malware and phishing email development skills, or at least access to capabilities such as acquiring malware or ransomware as a service on the dark web, etc., etc. So provide the term for the set of tools or capabilities that belong to an adversary. So that would be the arsenal, I believe. So it's the adversary arsenal. That would be it. All right. Moving right along here. So the infrastructure is also known as software or hardware. It's the physical or logical interconnections that the adversary uses to deliver a capability or maintain control of capabilities. For example, a C2 center, command and control center, and the results from the victim, so exfiltrating data. The infrastructure can also be IP addresses, domain names, email addresses, and even a USB device found in the street that's being plugged into a workstation. There's type 1 and type 2 infrastructure. Type 1 is the infrastructure controlled or owned by the adversary. Type 2 is the infrastructure controlled by an intermediary. Sometimes the intermediary might or might not be aware of the fact that their stuff is being used to do the attack, which is actually very important to understand, because the intermediary may not necessarily even be involved in the attack, right? They just have a machine that is either on the network or close to their building or something, and so that could be it. And this is the infrastructure that a victim will see as the adversary because it's the proxy, right? Type 2 infrastructure has the purpose of obfuscating the source and attribution of the activity, and it includes malware staging servers, malicious domain names, compromised email accounts. It could be people that didn't know they were being used, so a lot of things. And service providers are organizations that provide services considered critical for the adversary availability of type 1 and type 2 infrastructures. For example, internet service providers, domain registrars, webmail providers, etc. So, to which type of infrastructure do malicious domains and compromised email accounts belong to? So that would be a type 2 infrastructure. What type of infrastructure is most likely owned by an adversary? And that would be type 1. So there's really only two answers here, so that's pretty easy to do. Let's look at the meta features of the event. So let's see. Let me zoom out and kind of get a little bit of a better zoom here. So 6 possible meta features can be added to the diamond model. They're not required, but they can add some valuable information or intelligence to the diamond model. So the timestamp is the date and time of the event. Each event can be recorded with a date and time, and the timestamp can include when the event started and stopped. They're essential to help determine the patterns and group the malicious activity together. For example, it could be the intrusion or breach that happened at 3 a.m. in the United States, and it might be possible that the attack was carried out from a specific country with a different time zone, or I guess they could be awake at 3 a.m. in the United States, whatever. Then there's the phase. There are types of phases of an intrusion, attack, or breach according to the diamond model creators and the axiom 4. Every malicious activity contains 2 or more phases which must be successfully executed in succession, meaning one after another, to achieve the desired result. Malicious activities do not occur as single events, but rather a sequence of events. That would be the cyber kill chain, which we've gone through. There's also the unified kill chain, which we went through. And you can find out more about this in the cyber kill chain room, which we already did a video on this, so you could go watch that if you haven't seen it. And so these are just these are the steps in the cyber kill chain. In the unified kill chain, there are 18 steps, so it's much more detailed than this. But this is just the steps of the cyber kill chain. So they need to do at least 2 of these, right, to be able to pull it off. That's what it says right here. So it's 2 or more, right? Then you have the result. While the results and post conditions of an adversary's operations will not always be known or have a high confidence value when they are known, they are helpful to capture. It is crucial to capture the results and post conditions of an adversary's operations, but sometimes they might not always be known. The event results can be labeled as success, failure, or unknown. The event results can also be related to the CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and confidentiality compromised, integrity compromised, availability compromised. Another approach can also be documenting all of the post conditions resulting from the event, which could be information gathered in the recon stage or successful passwords and data that was exfiltrated. Then you have the direction, which is the part that helps describe host-based and network-based events and represents the direction of the intrusion attack. The diamond model of intrusion analysis defines several potential values for this, which could be victim to infrastructure, infrastructure to victim, infrastructure to infrastructure, adversary to infrastructure, infrastructure to adversary, bidirectional or unknown. So bidirectional means more than one, so it could be both of these, right? Methodology. This meta feature will allow an analyst to describe the general classification of intrusion, phishing, DDoS, which is distributed denial of service, breach, port scan, etc. And then there are the resources according to the diamond model. Every intrusion event needs one or more external resources to be satisfied to succeed. Examples could be software, so operating systems, virtualization software, or Metasploit framework. Knowledge, how to use Metasploit and run the exploit information, so the username and password to masquerade. Hardware, servers, workstations, routers, funds, so they need to be well funded to pull this off, right? Facilities, electricity or shelter is necessary to do a lot of these things. Access, a network path for from the source to host the victim, and vice versa, network access from an ISP, etc. What meta feature does the axiom every malicious activity contains 2 or more phases which must be successfully executed in succession to achieve the direct result? And that is phase. You can label the event result as success, failure, or unknown. What meta feature is related to this? And that would be the result. What meta feature is this phrase applicable? Every intrusion event requires one or more external sources to be satisfied prior to success. And that would be resources. All right, moving right along. The social political component describes the needs and intent of the adversary. For example, financial gain, gaining acceptance in the hacker community, hacktivism. Espionage. Hacktivism is somebody who thinks that they're doing something really good for the world, so they're an activist, but they're hacking. The scenario can be that the victim provides a product, for example, computing resources and bandwidth as a zombie in a botnet for crypto mining, okay? Producing new cryptocurrencies by solving equations through the use of computers. That's what mining is. Got it. While the adversary consumes their product or gets financial gain. All right, easy enough. The technology component would be the meta feature or component highlights that the relationship between the core features, so capability and infrastructure. Capability and infrastructure describe how the adversary operates and communicates. A scenario can be a watering hole attack, which is a methodology where the adversary compromises legitimate websites that they believe their targeted victims will visit. Okay? And now we're going to do a practice analysis. Are you ready to construct the diamond model? I guess we gotta be. Either one way or another, we gotta try it, right? So it says, please deploy the static site attached to this and dive into the case study and extract the information needed to populate our diamond model. The case study for this room occurred in 2015 and is not light of recent developments in Ukraine. Okay, fair enough. Deploy the static site. Complete the static site. You will need to click on each triangular section of the diamond until you have completed all 8 areas of the diamond. So let's look at the case study real quick. And this is a long document, so I'm not going to sit here and read all this. What we're going to do is we're going to use Command F or Control F to find certain elements in this and kind of skim through it, because this is definitely not something that I'm going to sit here and read. So let's go. So the incident response team has determined that a group of notorious underground hackers named APT2166 are responsible for the attack. So who is this? This would be the adversary. Then the attack occurs on such and such date at such and such time, and this would be the timeline. The attackers targeted the information technology systems of the corporation. We are going to say the victim. The attackers used a recent malware campaign known as One Trick to ransomware the corporation's servers. This could be the methodology, I would say. Oh, wrong answer. So maybe infrastructure? Nope, resources. Okay. So I guess it's nice that they tell you when you have a wrong answer or not. The attackers stole data from the corporation and sold it from an underground hacking forum. That would be the objective. Really, that's the result. Okay. The attackers gained access using legitimate credentials that were gained as a result of phishing attack. So this could be a technique or a capability. I'm going to say the technique. Really? Golly. Okay. Once the attackers gained access to the network, they pivoted to the internal databases and their file shares. So this was, oof. See, it could be, it's definitely not the result. That can't be the result. So methodology, okay, good enough. And the attacker steps can be followed using the phases of what cyber kill chain model. So, I mean, they're talking about the Lockheed Martin because they only showed us 7 steps. Unified kill chain had 18 steps. And I haven't even read the Microsoft Adversary Recreation model, so I'm going to say that is the cyber kill chain. And there's our flag. And there is that. And we have officially completed this lab. So let's see. We hope you enjoyed this room and you will apply the diamond model, bringing valuable information to your team and business, C-suite, people, and audience, yada, yada, yada. It is a scientific method to improve the efficiency and accuracy of intrusion analysis. With this in your arsenal, you will have opportunities to leverage real-time intelligence for network defense and predict adversary operations. Okay, fair enough. We didn't even have to read this, but I guess we could have. What's the name? So this is the analysis of the cyber attack on the Ukrainian power grid, which happened in 2015 or 2016. So the report came out in 2016, but the attack probably happened in 2015. So this is, I mean, it's interesting to know. The more you know, the better frame of reference you will have, and you'll be able to do a better job. So the summary is this, right? So on December 20, 3rd, 2015, the Ukrainian, I'm not going to pronounce that, a regional electricity distribution company reported service outages to customers. The outages were due to a third party's illegal entry into the company's computer and SCADA systems, SCADA supervisory control and data acquisition. Starting at approximately 3:35 p.m. local time, 710 kilovolt and 2335 kilovolt substations were disconnected for 3 hours. Later statements indicated that the cyber attack impacted additional portions of the distribution grid and forced operators to switch to manual mode. The event was elaborated on by the Ukrainian news media, who conducted interviews and determined that a foreign attacker remotely controlled the SCADA distribution management system. The outages were originally thought to have affected approximately 80,000 customers based on the update to the customers. However, later it was revealed that 3 different distribution oblenergos, a term used to describe an energy company, were attacked, resulting in several outages that caused approximately 225,000 customers to lose power. Shortly after the attack, Ukrainian government officials claimed the outages were caused by a cyber attack and that Russian security services were responsible for the incident. Following these claims, investigators in Ukraine, as well as private companies and the US government, performed analysis and offered assistance to determine the root cause of the outage. Both the Isaac and SANS ICS teams were involved in various efforts and analyses in relation to this case since 2015, working with trusted members in the community. This joint report consolidates the open source information, clarifying important details. I mean, what the hell is the point of taking the power down, though? That's what I'm trying to find out. It's like, why did they do it? What's the purpose? Can we find that out? Is there anything? The techniques that were used, opportunities. Okay, it remains an open debate why these things were targeted. Based on reporting, it's unknown if the targets were selected based on common tech or service territories. Opportunity-based considerations for selecting a specific target may focus on, okay, you know what? This is not giving us any information, so I'm going to go away. It's just kind of giving us an example, I guess. But yeah, if you wanted to read that, you can definitely read that. And we are completed with the diamond model room in the SOC level 1 pathway of tryhackme. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, and I hope that you found value from this room. These things are, from what I'm gathering, these things are just a combination to complement each other so that you can see, you know, and then there's going to be the MITRE framework in the very, very last part. So this is all just cyber defense frameworks, right? So the Pyramid of Pain we already did, Cyber Kill Chain, Unified Kill Chain, just did the Diamond model, and the next one is going to be the MITRE attack framework. And then after that, we're going to be done with the defense frameworks, and then we're going to jump into threat intelligence. And this is going to be a pretty hefty pathway because it's for the security analyst, right? So like, subscribe, share, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next video that comes in this pathway. And then you will get a more comprehensive education on the SOC Level 1, a Security Operations Center, security analyst. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something. And peace, love, and chicken grease. I will see you in the next video.